What's up YouTube, today's video is the one you've all been waiting for, and that is the defending tutorial. Ever since I got rank 1 in 90 minutes, whilst only conceding 2 goals for the whole 15 games, this has been the most requested one. In today's video, I'm going to fully break down the way that I defend and fully explain to you guys what I'm thinking. I'm going to break down the champs when I conceded 2 goals throughout the whole thing, and I'm going to break down certain games, for example when I beat Huge Gorilla, Shells and these other big pros. But before I get into any of that, I would appreciate if you guys drop a sub. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs, and also drop a follow on the Twitch and TikTok and Instagram. I appreciate it, guys. Let's get into the video. Before I get into any gameplay, you guys need to put the right stick switching on classic and the right stick switching reference on player relative. These are the two most important settings if you guys want to get better at defending. And I know what some of you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, oh, but I don't switch a right stick, I use L1. Trust me, you guys need to learn it, and I will also show you guys how to do it later on in this video. And the final two things is to have this clearance assistance on directional. What this will do is basically when you press circle, wherever you're aiming, that's where the ball will clear to, and it won't just go to any random place. And finally, the defending, for me, I prefer advanced defending. It's just whatever you guys want. Whatever you guys are used to, just use that. So you can see here, I'm currently 5-4 down in the 87th minute. I know my opponent is going to time waste. So as soon as this ball goes there, I instantly take my player to block this passing lane just so my opponent can't pass that. And then as soon as he turns that way, I instantly switch to this Zidane so I can stop this passing lane. You can see at the bottom of the minimap here. So I can stop the pass into his left winger there. As soon as he turns away, the only passing option that is available is this gap here. So instantly, I'm using my right stick switching. I switch this Kante straight away. I block that passing lane. And the next thing I do is block this passing lane here because he's turning backwards. The next thing I do is block that empty passing lane there. And that is literally it, guys. I win the ball back, and I don't really want to talk about what happens afterwards, but that is literally how to press, guys. And I want you guys to pay attention to how many times I switch players in these next 5 seconds, guys. So you can see here, he passes the ball back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times in literally 3 or 4 seconds, I change players, which just throws the opponents off. And I'm gonna show you guys another clip from a game against Walks, who is a very good player. I think he's currently 75-0, and this one just highlights how important it is to win the ball high up. You can see in this clip here, he's not even passed the ball yet, but I'm literally already controlling my right winger and trying to fully press him. As soon as he plays that ball, I switch the ball to my DM, and you can see at the bottom of the minimap here, I'm already covering this passing lane to his DM, and he's only played 1 pass. This then forces him to go upwards. He goes upwards. I'm blocking this passing lane to his DM again. As soon as he plays it upwards, I'm blocking it to the winger this time. And then he's forced to go downwards, and literally I've got him trapped. You can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4 players, and there's not really many passing options for him to go to. And then I hold R1. R1 pressing is a very important thing in a situation like this. So you can see here, he's clearly trapped. So I can cover this Hullet passing lane and also trap him from passing this way. And obviously he's not going to pass there because my R9 is right there. And then he dribbles into me, and then eventually you can see I scored a goal. But this is why it is very important to press from the front and win the ball high up, because you can easily score goals from it. This clip is against a very good German pro. I think he was 380-0 the week before I played him. And there's been a turnover in possession, guys. I instantly identify the problem. You can see at the minimap on the bottom. This is why it's important to look at the minimap, guys. You can see all of this space he has down the line. So instantly, I'm already running over. And obviously you can see the space here. What do? I switch player to block this space. However, I don't just want to let him keep going down the line. So I do R1 pressing. Obviously, this R1 press takes my centre back towards him. I take control off this centre back because he's already in front of this attacker now. I go to press him. He does a flare nutmeg pass. But because I've already switched this player again, I've covered that passing lane and I've won the ball back, guys. And I'm going to show you guys that clip again, just slower, so you guys fully understand what I did. You can see here, all of that space down the line, so I had to go down the line my centre back. However, there is a massive gap in the middle here, so I instantly switch over and block that passing lane. Once that passing lane is blocked, I quickly switch over to this player so I can press him again. I'm anticipating him to try pass it into the middle, so as soon as he does a flare nutmeg, I instantly switch over to this player. And because I already brought him down before, the passing lane is already blocked and I already win the ball, guys. Now the next bit of gameplay I've got for you guys is from when I'm at Shori a few weeks ago, and I've got a few more clips in the past few games, and it all starts when his Isak is through on goal here. So you can see here, his Isak is through on goal, and it's about the keeper movement, guys. Obviously you hold an R stick and you can move it in any direction, and your goalkeeper will move that way. And as soon as he is about to shoot is when I move the goalkeeper. And I want you guys to focus on the minimap here. You can see I bring my goalkeeper out slightly until he sees my goalkeeper. Once he sees my goalkeeper here, you can literally see out of the corner of the eye, I start moving him backwards, and then I instantly rush him out. This forces him to take the shot early. As soon as he is about to take the shot, because I know Isak has finesse plus, I move my goalkeeper slightly to that side and he makes a save. Again, I've got another keeper movement clip, just a completely different scenario, which just shows why it's very important to learn. You can see here, he's through on goal. He's about to take the shot. He's expecting me to move the goalkeeper upwards because that's what most people will do if they move the goalkeeper. However, because I know he's a good player, he's going to try to think outside the box, I actually move my goalkeeper towards the near post, and you can see here, it actually stops the shot and prevents the goal from going in. And I'm going to show you guys another reason why I did move the goalkeeper that way. So you can see here, I moved the goalkeeper, and because my Dan Burn with block plus is already here, I slide tackle. If he were to take the shot to the other side, it would have been blocked. That's why I moved the goalkeeper that way. I feel like situations like this is where people struggle a lot when your opponent has the ball on the edge of the box. You can see here, if he passes the ball to his player on the edge of the box here, he has two easy passes. One pass here, and once my player moves down here, he will be able to pass to his Henry here. So instantly, I know he's going to pass there. I switch to my Rudiger, cover that passing lane. Once that passing lane has been covered, I instantly switch back to cover this passing lane here and eventually win the ball. That's all you need to do, guys. Literally 2 seconds later and I've already lost the ball, but look how quickly I switch over to my Dan Burn. Lose the ball, switch over to Dan Burn, get him in front of that striker. Once he's in front of that striker, instantly switch over to this Rudiger, and guys, I keep repeating this. Once Rudiger's in front of that passing lane, I instantly switch over to Dan Burn to block that passing lane again. Once I block that passing lane again, I need to instantly switch this Rudiger because that's the next pass and I win the ball back. This is why right stick switching is so important, because L1 switching cannot do this. And the final clip from the game against Shorey just shows how important right stick switching is. I can't emphasize enough how important it is, guys. Trust me, you need to start learning it. So you can see here, there is such an obvious pass for him to pass to Hansen, and I'm currently controlling my Dan Burn. So I need to quickly anticipate that, instantly switch over to the Baldy here. He takes a touch and I instantly win the tackle. However, I then switch to my Dan Burn in case the shot does go off to try block it. But my Bowley does tackle the ball and I win the ball back. Now I'm going to move on to the game against Shells, and you can see here he has a very good goal scoring opportunity. However, I don't panic. Instantly I know that he is going to try play the extra pass, so I block that passing lane. He can no longer pass to Drogba here, and the way that his player is positioned, he can't shoot first time. So what I do is I rush out with my goalkeeper. Once he's moved away from that Drogba, he can no longer pass this Drogba. So I know that all he can do now is shoot. I block the shot option, and now he tries to recycle the ball. So because I blocked all of those options off, he has no choice but to turn around and try recycle. And eventually, I believe I win the ball back. Yeah, I win the ball back. So that is literally how to stop different options in the same attack. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my Upamecano to stop the ball from going to the wing, and I'm using my Maldini to stop the ball from going through that gap. So you can see here, keep switching, my Maldini is covering that space. He moves downwards to play the ball to the wing, but because I've switched my Upamecano already, he can't do that. So he moves upwards. As soon as he moves upwards, I instantly switch back to my Maldini so he can't get through that gap. And then he tries to pass that Neto that's down here, but he's now offside. So he's out of the equation, guys. Once that happens, all I need to do is control my Maldini. There is a player here. However, because I've got my Maldini here, I can literally just back off. And obviously, this is why Quick Step Plus is the most underrated play style for a defender, because my Maldini is constantly using it and constantly getting close to his attacker. I eventually win the ball back, and yeah, that is how to defend those situations. This is the final clip of the game against Shells. You can see here, he wins the ball. He sends his Kvaratskhelia on a run, so that Kvaratskhelia is going to keep running, and he's going to try to play it eventually. He keeps running. I keep an eye on that, so I know that Kvaratskhelia is there. Instantly, the same thing again, guys. That Maldini is going to cover that space up there. This Upamecano is going to cover that speed boost gap in there. So obviously, I move my Maldini up there. Once he's there, I switch back to my Upamecano so he cannot pass back to Drogba. And guys, I keep switching, and obviously Trivella's very OP in this game, so you've got to get out to them and stop the Trivella like that. And now on to the best thing I've ever done in FIFA history. That is rank 1 in 90 minutes while conceding 2 goals. Both those goals were a start, but I'm going to show you gameplay from a 14-0 game. Obviously being aggressive is very risky, but when you know when to be aggressive, it reduces the risk. You can see here, I've got my Strauk. He is currently down the line with his Hansen. I instantly charge straight at him. He could easily play this ball to his striker here. However, I gamble. I go straight at him and I eventually win the ball. But obviously, guys, he could easily have passed in there. But what would I have done? I would have changed my Maldini quickly with the right stick switching, and I would have won the ball back easily. Again, guys, I'm being very aggressive because I want to win the ball back so I can control the tempo of the game. So obviously, I've got my Strauk here and I'm using the R1 press to help press his player into the corner. I straight away switch to my Maldini because I can see that passing lane is open because of my Strauk running upwards. Once I block that passing lane, instantly back to my Strauk. Once I get to the Strauk, I swap back to my Capdevia so I can get the R1 press on Strauk. and I sandwich him and I win the ball back just like that. And that is the end of this defending tutorial. If you guys did find this video useful, let me know by leaving a like and a comment, and also let me know which tutorial you guys want to see next. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.